Deep within weathered Amish recipe boxes lie culinary secrets that once filled church basements with irresistible aromas. These forgotten dishes from the 1960s tell stories of community, tradition, and flavors that modern kitchens have never tasted. Recipe 1. Schnitz pie. What if I told you there was once an apple pie that could last through winter without refrigeration? Ingredients from 1960s Amish kitchens: 4 cups dried apples Schnitz, 1 cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg, lard-based pie crust, fresh butter. Dried apple slices were soaked overnight until plump, then slow simmered with brown sugar and warm spices. The thick amber filling was poured into handmade lard crusts and baked until golden. This hearty dessert graced funeral tables and fall gatherings, providing comfort when fresh fruit had long disappeared from orchards. Recipe 2. Shule cake. Before Shule pie became famous, there was its forgotten cousin, Shule cake. Traditional 1960s ingredients: 2 cups flour, 1 cup molasses, 2 cup lard, 1 cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 cup hot water. Crumb topping made with butter and sugar. Unlike its pie counterpart, this dense sheet cake was mixed in large church kitchen bowls. Molasses created a rich, dark batter that was topped with buttery crumbs before baking. Cut into generous squares, it fed dozens at winter prayer meetings. The cake's sturdy texture made it perfect for church basements where delicate desserts wouldn't survive the crowd. Recipe 3. Ham loaf with brown sugar glaze. Sunday fellowship dinners once centered around a dish that has nearly vanished from modern tables. Authentic 1960s recipe called for 2 pounds ground ham, 1 pound ground pork, 2 eggs, 1 cup breadcrumbs, 1/2 cup milk, brown sugar glaze made with vinegar and mustard. Ground meats were mixed by hand with breadcrumbs soaked in fresh milk. The mixture was shaped into loaves and crowned with a sticky glaze of brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, and dry mustard. As it baked, the glaze caramelized into a glossy coating. This centerpiece dish required hours of preparation, making it a labor of love that brought families together around church tables. Recipe 4. Chow, sweet and sour relish. Hidden in root cellars across Amish country were jars of colorful vegetables that could transform any meal. Summer preservation ingredients included fresh cabbage, finely chopped, green beans, cut into pieces, carrots, diced, sweet peppers, white vinegar, sugar, turmeric for golden color, celery seed. During peak harvest season, church women gathered for communal canning days. Vegetables were carefully chopped and layered in large crocks, then covered with a sweet, sour brine flavored with turmeric and celery seed. The mixture was packed into mason jars and processed in boiling water baths. This tangy relish appeared on every church potluck table, adding bright color and sharp flavor to heavy meat dishes. Each family guarded their particular blend of vegetables like a treasured secret. Recipe 5. Amish peanut butter spread. After Sunday services, children would race toward the fellowship hall for something sweeter than any store-bought treat. Simple 1960s ingredients created magic: 1 cup smooth peanut butter, 1 cup marshmallow fluff, 1/2 cup light corn syrup, 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, pinch of salt. Church mothers would combine these ingredients in large mixing bowls, stirring until the mixture became impossibly smooth and creamy. The spread was generously slathered onto thick slices of homemade white bread, creating sandwiches that disappeared as quickly as they were made. This wasn't just a snack. It was childhood happiness captured in a jar. The recipe required no cooking, making it perfect for busy church kitchens where ovens were reserved for more elaborate dishes. Generations of Amish children grew up believing this heavenly combination was how angels must taste sweetness. Recipe 6. Cold potato salad with pickled eggs. Imagine a potato salad so distinctive that one glance could identify which church district made it. Traditional picnic-style ingredients: 8 large potatoes, boiled and cubed, 6 pickled beet eggs, sliced, 1 cup mayonnaise, homemade, 2 tablespoons yellow mustard, 1 onion, finely diced, celery, chopped, salt and white pepper, fresh dill from kitchen garden. The secret lay in the pickled eggs, hard-boiled eggs preserved in beet juice that turned them brilliant pink. Potatoes were boiled until tender but never mushy, then cooled completely before mixing. Homemade mayonnaise, thick and golden from fresh egg yolks, was folded in with mustard and finely chopped vegetables. The crowning glory came when bright pink egg slices were arranged across the top like colorful flowers. This salad graced every outdoor church gathering, its vibrant appearance making children giggle and adults smile. The combination of creamy potatoes and tangy pickled eggs created flavors that modern potato salads simply cannot replicate. Recipe 7. Chicken corn soup with rivals. When autumn winds turned cold, church kitchens filled with the aroma of soup that could warm both body and soul. Hearty 1960s. Soup required. 1 whole chicken. Farm-raised. 8 cups fresh corn kernels. 2 cups flour for rivals. 2 eggs. 1 tablespoon lard. Celery, diced. Onions, chopped. Fresh parsley. Salt and pepper. Bay leaves. The process began at dawn with whole chickens simmering in massive kettles until the meat fell from bones. Corn was cut fresh from cobs, releasing sweet milk that enriched the broth. The mysterious rivals, tiny flour dumplings, were made by rubbing flour, eggs, and lard between palms until small, irregular pieces formed. These were dropped into the bubbling soup, where they cooked into tender, chewy morsels that absorbed the rich chicken flavor. Large ladles served steaming bowls to families gathered after Sunday services. Each spoonful delivered comfort that only comes from ingredients grown on your own land and prepared with hands that understood the art of nourishment. This soup represented everything Amish cooking embodied, simplicity transformed into something profound. Recipe 8. Vinegar pie, poor man's dessert. In church basements across Amish country, there existed a pie so unusual that modern bakers would never believe it could taste like heaven. Depression-era ingredients that created magic: 2 tablespoons white vinegar, 3 tablespoons flour, 1 cup sugar, 2 egg yolks, 1 cup water, 1 tablespoon butter, 1 teaspoon vanilla, pie crust made with lard, meringue from leftover egg whites. This remarkable dessert emerged from necessity during lean times but remained popular well into the 1960s because of its extraordinary taste. Vinegar was whisked with flour and sugar, then slowly combined with water over gentle heat until it thickened into a custard-like filling. The acid from vinegar created a flavor remarkably similar to lemon, but with a unique complexity that lemon could never achieve. The mixture was poured into tender lard crusts and topped with clouds of meringue beaten from egg whites. After baking, the pie developed a golden top and silky filling that tasted like sunshine captured in pastry. Church supper guests would often request seconds, never guessing they were enjoying transformed vinegar. This humble pie proved that Amish cooks could create extraordinary flavors from the simplest ingredients, turning scarcity into abundance through skill and creativity. Recipe 9. Baked oatmeal with apples and lard. Before dawn broke over Amish farmhouses, ovens were already warming for a breakfast that would fuel families through long Sunday services. Morning sustenance ingredients: 2 cups rolled oats, 2 apples, diced, 1/2 2-cup brown sugar, 1/4 4-cup lard, melted, 2 eggs, 1 cup milk, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/8 2 teaspoon nutmeg, pinch of salt. This wasn't your modern baked oatmeal. It was dense, filling, and designed to sustain hardworking families. Oats were combined with chunks of tart apples and brown sugar, then bound together with eggs and rich milk. Melted lard added richness that butter simply couldn't match, creating a texture that was both tender and substantial. The mixture was pressed into greased pans and baked until the top formed a golden crust while the interior remained creamy. Served warm with fresh milk or cream, each square provided lasting energy for hours of worship and fellowship. This hearty breakfast represented the Amish understanding that food should nourish both body and spirit, preparing families not just for physical work, but for spiritual devotion that required sustained attention and energy. Recipe 10. Canned grape salad with cream topping. Summer Sunday meals featured a dessert so unusual that visiting relatives would stare in wonder before taking their first tentative bite. Unique 1960s dessert components: 2 cans Concord grapes in heavy syrup, 1 Pascal Ket unflavored gelatin, 1 cup heavy cream, 2 tablespoons powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla, sometimes a lard-based whipped topping alternative. This peculiar creation began with canned Concord grapes suspended in crystal-clear gelatin that shimmered like stained glass windows. The gelatin was dissolved in grape juice heated just to dissolving point, then chilled until it began to set. Whole grapes were folded in gently to avoid breaking the delicate skins. The real magic happened with the topping, either fresh cream whipped to soft peaks or, in leaner times, a surprisingly delicious whipped mixture made with lard, sugar, and vanilla that mimicked expensive cream. The contrast between tart grapes, neutral gelatin, and rich topping created a dessert that was both refreshing and satisfying. This salad appeared at every summer church gathering, its unusual combination sparking conversations and creating memories. Children would often eat around the grapes, saving the sweet topping for last, while adults marveled at how something so simple could taste so sophisticated. Recipe 11. Buttermilk pie with nutmeg. Hidden among elaborate desserts at summer church socials was a pie so simple that guests often overlooked it until they tasted that first unforgettable bite. Traditional custard ingredients: 3 eggs, beaten smooth, 1 cup fresh buttermilk, 1 cup sugar, 3 tablespoons flour, 1/2 cup melted butter, 1 teaspoon vanilla, fresh grated nutmeg, single pie crust made with lard. This deceptively simple pie began with farm-fresh buttermilk, its tang providing the perfect foundation for a custard that was neither too sweet nor too tart. Eggs were beaten until smooth, then whisked with sugar and flour until no lumps remained. The buttermilk was slowly incorporated, followed by melted butter that created richness without heaviness. The mixture was poured into tender pie shells and baked until the centers barely jiggled when shaken. Fresh nutmeg was grated over the surface while still warm, creating aromatic spice that complemented the buttermilk's subtle complexity. These pies were served chilled, their creamy texture providing cool relief during sweltering summer gatherings. Many church members would quietly return for second slices, drawn by flavors that seemed both familiar and mysteriously sophisticated. Recipe 12. Liver pudding, scrapple variant. In the early morning hours before church services, certain Amish kitchens filled with aromas that divided families into 2 distinct camps: those who craved it and those who fled. Bold breakfast ingredients: 2 pounds fresh pork liver, 1 cup cornmeal, 1 cup buckwheat flour, pork broth from cooking, sage, ground, black pepper, salt, bay leaves, sometimes heart or other organ meats. This wasn't food for the faint of heart. Fresh pork liver was slowly simmered with bay leaves until tender enough to fall apart, then ground fine while still warm. The cooking liquid became a rich, dark broth that was whisked with cornmeal and buckwheat flour until smooth. Ground liver was folded back in, along with sage and plenty of black pepper. The mixture was poured into loaf pans and chilled overnight until firm. Come morning, thick slices were pan-fried in lard until crusty outside and creamy within. Served alongside eggs and biscuits, this protein-rich dish provided sustained energy for long worship services. You either grew up loving its intense, mineral-rich flavor, or you learned to politely decline when the platter reached your spot at the breakfast table. Recipe 13. Church basement slaw. While other tables featured heavy casseroles and rich meats, one corner always held large enamel bowls filled with something crisp, tangy, and surprisingly addictive. Refreshing potluck ingredients: 1 large head fresh cabbage, shredded, 2 carrots, finely grated, 1 cup sour cream, 3 tablespoons white vinegar, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1 teaspoon celery seed, salt and white pepper, sometimes thinly sliced onion. This wasn't your typical mayonnaise-heavy coleslaw. Fresh cabbage was shredded into thin, uniform strips that provided satisfying crunch. Carrots added color and subtle sweetness, while the dressing combined tangy sour cream with enough vinegar to make taste buds sing. Sugar balanced the acidity, and celery seed provided aromatic complexity. The secret was in